last year at this time, if we were said anything like the Niners should sign Tom Brady or the Niners should trade for Aaron Rodgers, people would say would want to like kill you. Like, how dare you say the only quarterback we will consider trading Jimmy Garoppolo for is Patrick Mahomes. End of story. And now every week, whichever quarterback's available, Niner fans are like, I want that guy. So my question to you is, when did this flip? When did Niner fans officially turn on Jimmy G?
I think it's changed at first after the Super Bowl and after our playoff last year, because we can agree with that with a more competent QB, we should have won that game. And with more competent play calling as well, because I'm not saying that Kyle Shanahan was great, especially in the second half of the Super Bowl. But, I remember when we first talked about Jimmy Garoppolo, and I was really, really skeptical. It was the first time, if I remember well, it was Friday.
Yes,
and
that's right.
Most of the people wanted to kill me, even in the Hungarian faithful group, because I said a lot of bad things about Jimmy. But
Right.
To be honest, at the start of this season, Jimmy wasn't great. He was really bad against the Cardinals. Of course, he has shown some of his talents, but thank you. But what I want to say is that I don't see that he can be a part of this team for a long time if we want to be contenders for the next few years. And I think that after those injuries this year, after that performance this year, those were the key things that changed the mind of the 49ers fans. And of course, if we are talking about Deshaun Watson and other big names like him, for example, Aaron Rodgers, I don't think that there's anyone who would change Jimmy Garoppolo, who would say that he would like to stuck with Jimmy Garoppolo if he can change in that position.
I think it happened gradually. I don't think it was an overnight flip. I think it started with that playoff game against Minnesota. He was bad, but they won. And Niner fans were like, okay, it was just one game. It's just one game, but I love Jimmy still, but I noticed that he was bad. And then the Green Bay game happened. He threw 8 passes. It's like, okay, well, he didn't have to pass. It was because the running game was so good. It's okay. But it's like, that's another thing to file away. And then the Super Bowl happened, and that was rough. He was really bad in that Super Bowl, especially down the stretch. And I think Niner fans were still in denial all offseason, because I tried to talk to him on YouTube, on Sports Illustrated, and say, maybe it's time to move on. I mean, maybe they should get Tom Brady. And Niner fans are still saying, no. Jimmy's the guy. He led us to the Super Bowl. Give him another year. I think they were still in fantasy land. And when he came out and laid an egg week 1, that was it. That was it. Like, I was actually going to be kind of nice to him in my post-game grades after that game. Like, well, he didn't have Kittle. He didn't have Debo. Niner fans were like, no, dude, this is it. I am tired of this guy. I think that was the day, the Cardinals game.
Yeah, could be. But if I remember well, the first time we talked about after that Cardinals game, when I was disappointed the most. And there were still fans. Most of the fans said that, no way, we should be with Jimmy Garoppolo because all he does is win. Do you remember when was the first time when a team's fans said that about a quarterback?
Tell me.
Tim Tebow and the Denver Broncos.
That is true. All he does is win. I don't care how he does it. I don't care what his limitations are. You can break it down, show me the film. I don't care. He just wins. It's true. And then he stopped winning.
Yep. And
then what do you got left?
Well, I was a big fan of Tim Tebow, but I wasn't a fan of him because he was a great quarterback. I never said that he was a great quarterback. He was a great leader of the team.
True. Real quick, Big Golden Nugget says Cards game was blown by a punt block and a failed 4th and goal. I guess Big Golden Nuggets is still on the Jimmy G. There still are some people who haven't given up on Jimmy G, such as Big Golden Nuggets. So it's nice to see that he has a few fans out there, because it's probably like 8, maybe 9 fans he has at this point. Jimmy, people used to love him, and now he must be one of the most disliked quarterbacks in the league. It happened fast.
Yep, so fast. Actually, it's something like we describe when we are talking about soccer here in Hungary, because, it's the sport of the nation, soccer, but we didn't achieve anything in the past 50 years. So I just couldn't understand why. But it's like with with soccer fans. If you have a guy who is the face of the franchise, and we must say that Jimmy was the face of the franchise, because great looking franchise quarterback is always the face of the franchise. And you know what? Jimmy's handsome, and that's why he became the face of the franchise.
It's true. You have 5 good games with that face, 140 million. Boom.
Yep.
Real quick, before we move on from Jimmy, because we don't need, he's basically almost history. East Bay Chris says, credit to Jimmy. I haven't heard that dude complain once despite all this. And that's a good point, because the NFL is becoming more and more like the NBA, where these franchise quarterbacks are now kind of divas. And if they like Aaron Rodgers, like Deshaun Watson, like if I don't want to be there, I'm out, and I'm going to make a point about it and get myself out of here. And Jimmy Garoppolo, he never complains. He doesn't tweet. He doesn't send little cryptic messages on Facebook. Credit to him. He's a grown-up in that way. I like that about him.
Yeah, that's why I respect him so much. And that's why I must say that whatever happens this offseason, I must say that best wishes to Jimmy G, because when we are talking about quarterbacks, especially Deshaun Watson, for example, he's a diva, as you said before. We never seen something like that from Jimmy G.
I don't know if he's a diva, but he definitely has diva tendencies. I've never met that guy, but he definitely has diva tendencies in ways that Jimmy doesn't. And the thing is, I think that's one of the reasons why Belichick likes Jimmy so much. I mean, Belichick wants a guy who shuts up, who's quiet, who's deferential. And Jimmy's all of those things, basically, you know.
Yeah, maybe that's why the Patriots wanted to give us a first rounder after last season for Jimmy G.
That's right. Because they convinced themselves that Tom Brady was done, and boy, were they wrong.